Now it's time to introduce my next special guest on my show. We have Christine Bauer joining me on today's show. How are we doing, Christine?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, lovely. I'm not too bad, you know. Christine Bauer, you are an artist in your own right. And I just wanted to get you on my show just to kind of tell my listener more about yourself.
Yeah. So I live over in the United States, right in the middle of the country in Nebraska. I try to get out to Nashville pretty regularly, and that's where I've been recording my latest singles here recently. And yeah, I started out as a singer-songwriter and taught myself how to play guitar. And now I've been getting to record some really neat songs by other writers. So it's been quite fun.
Oh, exciting times for you. Glad to hear it. Now, I've just received one of your tracks. It's called High School Sweethearts. It's just hot off the press. Tell me more about that, please.
Yeah, so High School Sweetheart was written by Emma Lee, Karen Kosowski, and Nikita King. And it's a really fun, kind of a pop, mid-tempo song. And it's kind of just there's a little twist to it because when you hear the title, you think it's going to be about high school sweethearts, but it's really about not being high school sweethearts and finding your true love later in life when you're a bit more mature and have found yourself first before finding that other person. So,
Great. Did you have fun recording this song as well? Was it good fun?
oh yeah, yep. So I got to record it out in Nashville with Grady Saxman and his crew, and I've gotten to record 5 songs out there now, and it's just a blast every time. They make it so relaxed, and I really enjoy the whole process from the starting guitar track all the way up till the vocal recording. It's a lot of fun.
What's it like to bring smiles to people's faces with your
Oh,
music?
it's a good feeling. It's always a good feeling when somebody reaches out and says they really like my song and they've been playing it over and over. It's one of the best feelings ever. So
And on High School Sweetheart, this one really shows your vocal range.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely more of I think a higher pitch for me, but it's actually a more of a comfortable range for me as well. So it's just been fun when you kind of listen to some of my other tracks and you listen to Crumble, which is a song I wrote, and compare it to High School Sweetheart. There's a definite difference in range, and I'm super excited I had that opportunity.
How would you describe your sounds as well? Are your lyrics quite dreamy and poetic in places?
Yeah. Yeah, I it's just such a bright song too, just very uplifting and yeah, it's one I feel like you can listen to in the car as you're driving down the road, just kind of like Call Me was as well, but this one's a little bit more laid back. So,
And on Spotify as well, you hit around 20,000 monthly listeners. That's very respectable figures there.
thank you.
And also, previous singles as well. You've had songs called Red Flag as well. Give that a listen, listeners. It's got a strong guitar riff as well.
Yeah. Red Flag was a song that I wrote with my friend Sarah Harrelson. And we've written quite a few songs together. I think we're actually just over 100 songs now. And yeah, Sarah actually produced that song along with a friend, and we're super proud of that track.
Cool. And you got Crumble as well. Does that kind of tell the story of like the music business, how hard it is to crumble, for the pressure?
Yeah, yeah. And that song, that was a very personal and reflective song for me. But in more ways than one, kind of like you said, it for me it was more of a romantic relationship song, but as I sang it, it kind of has related to other areas of my life as well. Just like you said, it's hard getting into the music business. I also work as a nurse full time, and nursing can be challenging at times. It's very
Mhm.
rewarding, but it's also a hard field. So I think there's a lot of different ways that people can relate to that song.
And being in music as well, is it good escapism from your day-to-day career?
Yeah, yep, it is. It's also the time when I just feel like my most self when I'm writing songs and recording and even listening to music. It's just kind of that special place for me to be.
That's so
So.
cool. And I've also just listened to another track. It's called Put It All on My Tab. I hope that's not a true story. Otherwise, the bill's going to be quite big by the sounds of it.
Yeah. That one, that was really fun to write. I feel like we had a good visual with it when we wrote it. I wrote it with Sarah Harrelson also. And I still to this day, whenever I sing that song, I envision two people at a bar and one person sharing their story and the other one listening and being supportive and saying, I got the tab here. You just keep going.
Mm. And country music as well. I've always said this before. I'll say it till the cows go home. It tells stories, doesn't it? Paints pictures.
Yeah. Yep. And
And,
that's kind of, I was gonna say that's always kind of the hope when you write a song is that you really can get that story across.
mm. And listen to music as well. Reminds me of Taylor Swift's in places, especially you know the first thing we'll talk about, High School Sweethearts.
Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, so High School Sweetheart reminds me of Taylor Swift in places. You know, love story.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny. I think Taylor Swift has a new song out on her latest album that kind of refers to high school as well. And I know one of the writers on the song is a big fan of Taylor Swift
Mm,
also. And I grew up loving Taylor Swift, and she was the first concert I ever went to. So, yeah, it's a good feeling to be kind of compared to her in that sense.
mm. And the High School Sweetheart, I'm afraid back to the start, but would you say it's quite romantic in places?
Definitely.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Especially
And
kind of when you're talking about looking back at your photos and there's that line when we're talking about being off the training wheels and this is the real deal. It's I feel like it can be very relatable for people too.
mm. I know interviewing artists, they write a lot of songs about former flames. But it's not all negative. Sometimes you can look back at photos and think, yeah, they were actually good memories, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, if you had to choose anywhere in the world you'd like to perform, where would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, You know, Nashville is always a big place that you want to perform at, and that would be a dream someday, especially for me on the CMA stage or even on the Grammy stage someday.
Hmm.
But something I've also always dreamed of is just getting to go out on a tour and end up back in my hometown area of Omaha, Nebraska someday and sing for my friends and family back home.
And what's the support been like from all your followers and fans and friends?
It's been amazing. It's been such a ride just from the beginning up until now. And I have friends from the very beginning that are still just cheering me on. And with every new song, they'll reach out and tell me that they like the song and they're so proud. So it's been quite an amazing experience.
Hmm. And with your fans as well, where is your furthest fan you like in the world from you? Say like Australia or somewhere.
So I think I think my biggest fan in the world is also the farthest away, and he's my good friend Paul Ray in Australia. If it weren't for Paul Ray, I wouldn't have connected with Blue Shamrock Music, and we wouldn't be having this interview right now. So, Paul Ray, he has produced all of my music up until Call Me. And I've never met him in person, but we've done a lot of Zoom calls together. And I think he's going to actually come out to the United States this year later on, and I might actually get to meet him for the first time. So
Cool. And just looking on Spotify as well, I know there's other streaming platforms out there. I think it's important more than ever for listeners and music lovers to support local artists, worldwide artists, independents. Just looking on Spotify as well, absolutely amazing. You know, your artwork, you look so photogenic. You know, I've got a massive screen, and it plays all my music for me, and it looks really professional, like everything what you put into. So well done.
thank you. Yeah, I could give a big shout out to my photographer back home. Her name is Erin Dunaway, and she's done an amazing job. And yeah, I'm super proud of it.
Brill. And also me to do is play your new single now, which we were talking about, just High School Sweetheart. Would you just like to introduce it on my show?
Yeah, yep. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Christine Bauer, and this is my new single called High School Sweetheart.
Thanks for taking time out to join me today, Danny Sun here in England on my show.
Awesome. Yes, thanks for having me.
It's been a blast. Thanks again.